Okay. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي أرسل رسوله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله وكفى بالله شهيدا وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له إقرارا به وتوحيدا وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله تسليما مزيدا أما بعد. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome everyone to our third class in the course Arabic 210, Arabic Analysis of Quranic Parables. And in the last class, we took the first two verses of our muqarrar, our curriculum, which is verses number 17 and 18, if I'm not mistaken, in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He strikes a parable between the munafiqun and one who seeks fire to be ignited. And we explained it in detail. Alhamdulillah. Today, inshallah ta'ala, we'd like to move on to the second set of verses that we have today regarding the munafiq as well. But this is verse number 19. In our curriculum, we have verses number 19 and 20 in this class. However, because of the length of our explanation that this class is going to take, we are not going to explain verse number 20. Rather, we're going to, at the end of the course, we're going to make a separate video explaining verse number 20. And it will be like an extra credit video. Anybody wants to benefit, they could watch it on their own time. However, what's wajib upon us right now is going to be only verse number 19. Everyone can't hear. طيب. I don't know why. Is it on my side? Okay. طيب. Make sure to connect to audio. Oh, Nafisa. Now, this is the thing about live classes. Those who can't log off in that. طيب. Now, in today's class, inshallah ta'ala, we're going to explain another verse speaking about the munafiqun. However, before we go into that verse, we have a short introduction to the class. In the last class, we spoke about the munafiqun and that how there's two categories of nifaq. You have nifaq al-akbar, which if a person possesses or acts upon, then and if they die upon that particular nifaq, they will enter to Jahannam forever and they'll never be taken out. In fact, they'll be in the lowest part of the Jahannam. May Allah save us from it. And then we said there's another category of nifaq which is known as nifaqun asghar. I can't hear. طيب, nifaqun asghar, this is the minor nifaq, wherein if a person possesses a trait of this particular nifaq, then they're not necessarily known as munafiq. However, if they perform those actions, and it becomes part of their daily routine, the daily characteristics from their characteristics, then لعله يعتبر على المنافقين. Perhaps he will be called a munafiqeen, from amongst the munafiqun. طيب. Today, inshallah ta'ala, we want to bring some more clarification. Some of the ulama, they say that the first verse we explained in the last class pertains to those munafiqun who they entered into Islam with good intentions, right? However, after being after living with the Muslims and seeing how the life of the Muslims were, they didn't like it, so they decided to go back to their lives of kufr, their lives of being Yahud or Nasara, etc. So what they did, that they did not leave their religion, did not leave their deen, but rather they stayed outwardly as a Muslim but inwardly hating Islam. So that's one category of a munafiq. Those who accepted Islam, benefited from Islam, but they switched, they reverted back to the religion, right? And as we have here, A, those who entered in Islam and were affected by the revelation, but then rejected. Okay? The proof for this is the verse in Surah Nisa, in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا ثُمَّ كَفَرُوا ثُمَّ آمَنُوا ثُمَّ كَفَرُوا. Indeed, those who believe, ثُمَّ كَفَرُوا, and then disbelieve, ثُمَّ آمَنُوا, then believe again, ثُمَّ كَفَرُوا, then disbelieve again, ثُمَّ ازْدَادُوا كُفْرًا, then go on increasing in disbelief. لَمْ يَكُنِ اللَّهُ, Allah will not forgive them. لَمْ يَكُنِ اللَّهُ لِيَغْفِرَ لَهُم, Allah will not forgive them. وَلَا لِيَهْدِيَهُمْ سَبِيلًا, nor guide them to the right way. So this, some ulama, they say that this verse here pertains to those types of munafiqun, those who believe and disbelieve, believe and disbelieve. Yani playing games with the religion, right? Those, the first verse we studied, yani this type of nifaq pertains to them. Then some ulama, they say that no, or rather some ulama, they say there's another category of munafiqun, there's another category of the hypocrites, those who entered into Islam and were never affected by the revelation. Those yani, who entered in Islam and were never affected by revelation. Yani they never believed aslan. Yani they never believed from the jump, from the beginning, right? And they say that this type of munafiqun, yani this type of hypocrite, is being referred to the in the verses that we're going to study today. In the verse that we're going to study today. All right. And this is the opinion of Ibn Uthaymin rahimahullah ta'ala and other ulama, that the munafiqun, they're broken up into categories, right? They're not, everyone is not just all of them don't believe, right? They're not all upon that hal, that condition. Rather, there are some who believed, then reverted back to the nifaq, and then there's some who never believed from the beginning, right? And this is seen throughout history. Examples of this, right? Like for example, Abdullah bin Saba. Abdullah bin Saba was a Yahud, right? A Jew who in the time of Umar bin Khattab, when he was the Khalifa, radiallahu ta'ala anhu, and we know in the time of Umar, radiallahu ta'ala anhu, during his Khalifa, there was a lot of expeditions, right? The Muslims were conquering a lot of land. And Abdullah bin Saba at that time was in Furs. He was in, he was a Pharisee, right? In Persia. He was a Persian Jew. And he saw the strength of the Muslims at that time. And although he hated Islam, he knew that if he openly showed his religion, that the Muslims, his status would have diminished, right? He wouldn't have the same rights that he had before Islam had power, correct? He would have, his hal would change, his status would change. So what he did was that he decided that he was going to openly accept Islam and try to destroy it from within. This was his intent. To destroy it from within. So what happened was that he accepted Islam and he was with the Muslims, and he is known to be the father or the one of the original people who caused the fitna between the Muslimin in regards to Ali ibn Abi Talib and Muawiyah. Famous story. We're not going to get into it. But he is one of those who provoked that situation and was one of the heads in terms of beginning the Shia sect and extremism in that affair. So the point I'm trying to make is that munafiqun are different types. There are those who never believed in Islam from the beginning, and then there are some who believe, then they disbelieved, then believed, and disbelieve hakadha. And we're going to explain this in more detail in the grammar section. Let's move on. So we have here the first verse, the statement of Allah Azza wa Jal, A'udhu billahi min shaytanir rajim, in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said, أَوْ كَصَيِّبٍ مِّنَ السَّمَاءِ فِيهِ ظُلُمَاتٌ وَرَعْدٌ وَبَرْقٌ يَجْعَلُونَ أَصَابِعَهُم فِي آذَانِهِم مِّنَ الصَّوَاعِقِ حَذَرَ الْمَوْتِ وَاللَّهُ مُحِيطٌ بِالْكَافِرِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in this verse, and before we explain the verse, one important thing is that whenever you say Allah said, if you say Allah said, don't say after it A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. This is the mistake. Because if you say Allah said A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, what are you saying? You're saying that Allah is the one who said, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Yani Allah is seeking refuge in himself. A'udhu billah. كيف هذا? Rather, what you're supposed to say is, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Allah said. And then you mention the verse. However, it is closer to the sunnah to not even mention A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim from the beginning. For example, if you're speaking and you want to mention an ayah, right? You don't say A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim wal asr. La, rather you say the ayah just as. You say, Allah said, wal asr. Because there's no narration that shows that whenever the Prophet ﷺ would relay relay an ayah, relay a verse, that he would say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. The only time in which he would say it was if he was sitting with the Quran, right? In terms of, reviewing Quran with himself and Jibreel. In a jalsa, in a sitting, in a class, right? The Sahaba, they wouldn't just say A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim when reciting, when relaying a verse. Rather, they would do it in times of learning the Quran or reviewing the Quran, etc. So, for example, if you're in a class, Naam, you say A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Tayyib, that's good. However, if you're going to relay a verse, you don't say A'udhu billahi. This is closer to the Sunnah. But if you do it, it's no sin upon you, but it's closer to the Sunnah to leave it off in terms of relaying it. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam. Tayyib. Here Allah Azza wa Jalla, He says, or like a rainstorm from the sky, or rather He says, أَوْ كَصَيِّبٍ مِّنَ السَّمَاءِ, which means, or like a rainstorm from the sky. فِيهِ ظُلُمَاتٍ, wherein is darkness, وَرَعْدٌ, and thunder, وَبَرْقٌ, and lightning. يَجْعَلُونَ أَصَابِعَهُمْ, they thrust their fingers, فِي آذَانِهِمْ, in their ears, مِنَ الصَّوَاعِقِ, to keep out the stunning thunderclap, حَذَرَ الْمَوْتِ, for fear of death. وَاللَّهُ مُحِيطٌ بِالْكَافِرِينَ, but Allah ever encompasses the believers, meaning Allah will gather them all together. This is the translation by Muslim Khan, rahimahullah ta'ala. طيب, so let's begin our class with the vocabulary / word choices. The first word we have here in this verse is the word أو. أو. أو, it means or. This is the meaning of or, and this is the translation that Muhsin Khan chose to use, or. However, we're going to go, when we study Nahwu, the next portion, we're going to study O in more detail. The next word we have here is ka, which is harf tashbih, which means like. Just as in the last verse we studied, ka was also harf tashbih, and it meant like. Khayr. The next word we have here is sayyib, which means rainstorm, or it can also refer to the rain, right? Or it can also refer to the cloud, the cloud in which the rain comes from. The plural for sayyib is sayayibun. And sayyib comes from the verb saba yasubu sawban. Sawban is one masdar, verbal noun. Sayyiban is the other verbal noun. And linguistically, it means to descend. Okay? And the A'rab, they say, anything that falls from above and lands below on something is known as sayyib. So, for example, if somebody was on top of a building and they dropped a rock, for example, right? That rock descending from top of the building, hitting the floor, is known as sayyib. This is known as sayyib in the lugha. Khayr. Next, min. Here, min as-sama'i, it means from. And we're going to explain this more in detail in our Nahwu portion of the class. However, for now, you should know that min means from. The next word we have is as-sama. As-sama'u. The jama', the plural for as-sama'u is samawatun. as I'm sure everyone has heard. Another jam' for this, another plural for this word is asmiyatun. Asmiyatun. طيب, asmiyatun. Now, what does sama mean linguistically? Linguistically, sama means anything that is above and provides cover and shade. All right? Anything that is above and provides cover and shade. This is the linguistic meaning, how it's used in the lugha. It is said, as-sama'u saqful bayti, that the sama is the saqful bayti, yani the roof of the house. The roof of the house. Why is it known as the roof of the house? Why is the roof known as the as-sama? Because it provides cover and shade, right? Likewise, the sama in terms of the dunya is saqful dunya. Yani it is the roof of the dunya. Right? Not like, you understand the meaning here. It is the thing that encompasses the dunya yani from above. Khair. The Arabs, A'rab, they also call it matar. Yani they also refer to as-sama as a matar because of the rain descending from it. So if you read more classical Arab poetry, you see a lot of times they use matar to refer to yani as-sama. They do this a lot in their language. Now, as-sama is a feminine word, meaning that whenever you use the word, everything referring back to as-sama has to be feminine, right? We have a lot of examples of that. However, sometimes as-sama can also be masculine. قد يذكر. It can be masculine. As it's found in some abiyat al-shi'r, some lines of poetry, in which it is said, فَلَوْ رَفَعَ السَّمَاءُ إِلَيْهِ قَوْمًا لَحِقْنَا بِالسَّمَاءِ مَعَ السَّحَابِ. فَلَوْ رَفَعَ السَّمَاءُ. Here the sha'ir, he said, فَلَوْ رَفَعَ السَّمَاءُ إِلَيْهِ قَوْمًا. If only the sky raised to it people, yani if only the sky would raise people towards it, لَحِقْنَا بِالسَّمَاءِ مَعَ السَّحَابِ. Then we would join with the sky, be with the sky along with the clouds. Here, the author did not say that, and the poet did not say فَلَوْ رَفَعَتْ السَّمَاءُ. There's no ta'nith there. Rather, he said فَلَوْ رَفَعَ السَّمَاءُ. Here, rafa'a is in the masculine form, showing that as-sama can sometimes be masculine word as well. What is this? See a video. Khayran. So that's as-sama. Can we move on? The next set of words that we're going to take from this verse, one, is أو كصيب من السماء. So min, did we explain min? Min means from. Okay, min means from. As-sama means the sky, and we mentioned the explanation of it. Fihi means yani fi, in, he is a damir, is a pronoun that refers back to sayyib. Sayyib. So fihi yani fi sayyibin. That's the meaning here. Fi sayyibin. In the storm cloud, in the rain cloud, etc. And this is an important point that our teachers in tafsir, they stress to us, is that one of the ways to ponder and reflect and truly have tadabbur of the Quran is by reflecting over every single dama'ir, yani every single pronoun. If you're able to attach every pronoun that's mentioned back to its word, then that's a means of understanding and pondering over the Quran. Tayyib. So fihi refers back to sayyib. Now the author, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, dhulumatun. Dhulumatun, meaning darknesses. Of course, we mentioned in the last class the meaning of dhulumat. What are some of the meanings that the dhulumat contains? What are some of the meanings that we mentioned in the last class? You can share your answer in the chat right now. And what are some of the meanings of dhulumat? Nifaq. Good. What else? Wrongdoing. Good. What else? Darkness. Okay, good. Next. What else? Kufr. Sah. Misguidance. Excellent. Sins. Naam. What is darkness in terms of hereafter? What are some darknesses in the hereafter? And these are some of the things in dunya, sah? No light on sirat. طيب. نعم. That's a نوع من الظلمات. خير. What about the munafiq? When they see the believer, what happens in Surah Hadid? Right? Surah Al-Hadid. The munafiq will look at the believer and you'll see the believer with his light. Sah? Then the munafiq will ask him, انظرونا نقتبس من نوركم, so that we can share in your light. Yani, wait for us. What will the believer say? قيل ارجعوا وراءكم فالتمسوا نورا. Return back to your backsides and you will find your light. وَيَذُ بِاللَّهِ. خيرا. So that is some of the meanings of dhulumat in the dunya and the hereafter. The next word we have here is ra'd. Ra'dun, meaning the sound that is heard from thunder. Yani the thunderous sound you hear. This is known as ra'd. Some of the mufassirun, like Ibn Abbas and others, they say that this is the sound of the angel who's in charge of this action. Right? Every angel are in charge with certain actions. There's one angel that is in charge of the thunder. Right? The sound that you hear from the thunder, this is known as ra'd. The ra'd. And we have a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ in which it is explained what is ra'd. This hadith is found in Jami' at-Tirmidhi, and it says that the Yahud, the Jews, they came to the Prophet ﷺ, and we know in that time the Jews would test the Prophet ﷺ a lot. They were asking a lot of questions just to see if he's truly the man that's mentioned in our book. Although they knew, after he answered all these questions, they knew, and he was the Prophet. He was the Prophet mentioned. However, they kept testing him, kept asking him questions. So they asked him, Ya Abul Qasim, O Abul Qasim, that was the kunya of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Akhbirna an al-ra'd. Inform us about the ra'd, the thunder. Ma huwa. What is it? So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that the ra'd is a malakun min al-malaika. That the ra'd itself is the malaika, is the malak. Is the angel himself from among the angels. Muwakkalun bis sahab. And he's in charge of the clouds, moving the clouds. Ma'ahu makhariq min al-nar. With him is a makhariq min al-nar. What does that mean? The explainers of Jami' at-Tirmidhi, like in مثلا Shaykhuna Muhammad bin Adam Ethiopia has an explanation of Jami' at-Tirmidhi. He said that one of the meanings of this is that it is an alatun. It is a tool that's used to move the clouds. It is a tool used to move the clouds. Right? And it's from fire. It's made out of fire. Yasuqu biha sahab. The Prophet ﷺ, he said that this tool, this makhariq min al-nar, is used to move the clouds. Haythu sha Allah. Wherever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wills or desires. So the Jews, they asked him, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, after this, فَمَا هَذَا الصَّوْتِ الَّذِي نَسْمَعُ. So then what is this sawt? What is this sound that we hear? The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, زَجْرُهُ بِالسَّحَابِ. That the sound that you hear is the actual striking of the clouds. Okay, out of the angels, when he strikes the clouds, إِذَا زَجْرَهُ حَتَّى يَنْتَهِي إِلَى حَيْثُ أُمِرَ. When he strikes the clouds, that movement, right, of the cloud and being hit, etc., this is considered to be the ra'd, the thunder that we hear. And even Tirmidhi, rahimahullah ta'ala, he said that this hadith is Sahih Hasan Gharib, meaning that it is among the most authentic ahadith that is with him under his conditions. And it is gharib, meaning that in every tabaqa, in every chain, every level of the hadith, there's at least one person who narrated it. Okay? There's at least one person who narrated. طيب. So this is the meaning of ra'd, the sound that is heard. Also, it could be said that it is the angel that is mentioned in this hadith. It is the angel himself who is in charge of this action. طيب. The next word we have here is barq. Barq. Barq, referring to the lightning. So you have ra'dun and barq, thunder and lightning. The next word we have yaj'aluna. Yaj'aluna, which means here yaj'aluna comes from the verb ja'ala yaj'alu ij'al. Ja'ala yaj'alu ij'al, which means to put. Okay, this is the normal meaning of ja'ala. Another meaning that it could take is khalaqa, to make or to create. All right, I think we made a post on this. Or rather, we answered someone's question on this in the group as to when it takes the meaning of to put and when it takes the meaning of to create, to make. So you can review that post, inshallah ta'ala, to benefit. Another meaning that ja'ala can take is to begin. And this is from the af'alul muqarabah. And it takes the meaning of shar'a, yani to begin. Af'alul muqarabah, this requires more detail and explanation. And we want to record a video on this sometime next week to explain it, inshallah ta'ala. So you can review that class. We'll post that class in our group as well when we record it. But it can also mean to begin. Ja'ala can also mean to begin, with the condition that there's a fi'l that comes after it. So if it's a noun that comes after it, it'll take either the meaning of to put or to make. But if there's a fi'l, yani a verb that comes after ja'ala, then the meaning changes to begin. So for example, you can say ja'ala ya'kulu Muhammadun ta'amahu. Ja'ala ya'kulu Muhammadun ta'amahu. Yani Muhammad began eating his food. Muhammad began eating his food. And we're going to explain this in detail, inshallah. You're going to see like with visuals and everything in the class that we're going to explain. طيب. The next word we have here is رعد وبرق يجعلون أصابعهم. أصابع, يعني أصابع means fingers. Your fingers. And the ulama of lugha, they say that there's 5 different ways of pronouncing. Or rather, how do you say one finger? You say one finger is isba'un. Isba'un is the mufrad. Isba'un is the mufrad, the singular, a finger. And the ulama of lugha, they say that there's 5 different ways of pronouncing one finger. You can either say isba'un, as you can see here, or you can say asbi'un, asbi'un with a kasra on the ba, or you can say asba'un with a fatha on the hamza here and the fatha on the ba, or you can say usbu'un with dhamma, 2 dhammas, or you can say isbi'un with a kasra on the ba. Some ulama, they say there's even 10 different ways of pronouncing it. SubhanAllah. Al-Muhim, all of the fingers are considered to be feminine words. So if you use any word that denotes a finger is going to be in the feminine case, except for the finger thumb. The thumb is not a feminine word, right? And how do you say thumb in Arabic? Ibham. Ibhamun. This is rather a masculine word. As some people, they say that the thumb is not part of your fingers. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam. This is how you say your different fingers. As-sababa. Sababa. Pointer finger. Al-wusta. Al-wusta is your middle finger. Al-binsir. Al-binsir is your ring finger. And al-khinsar. Al-khinsar is your pinky finger. Remember, this is also an Arabic class, so you're going to learn some new vocabulary as well. So don't get mad if this doesn't intrigue you. The next word that we have here is fi adhanihim. Okay, with the mad. Here, adhanun is the jam' plural for the word udhunun. Udhunun. And udhunun means one ear. Adhanun means yani ears, 3 or more. And many people, when they pronounce the adhan, when they say adhan, did he make the adhan? They say, did he make the adhan? Right? They pronounce it with a med on the on the alif, right? Instead of saying adhan. Yani adhan is the call to prayer. Adhan is ears. Okay, so don't make that mistake when you ask if the adhan was made. The tasghir form of udhunun is udhaynatun. Udhaynatun with the dhamma. Udhaynatun. And that's ears. Let's move on to the last portion of the vocabulary section. All right, we have here the next يَجْعَلُونَ أَصَابِعَهُمْ فِي آذَانِهِمْ. Min also meaning from. We're going to explain what type of min this is in the grammar section. As-sawa'iqi. As-sawa'iqi. As-sawa'iqi is the plural for the word as-sa'iqa. As-sa'iqa. And some ulama, they also say as-saqi'ah. As-saqi'ah with a badal of the ayn with the qaf. They switch places. All right. This is known as ishtimal in sarf. Here it means thunderbolts / thunderclap. And the ulama of tafsir say that this is the piece of fire that comes out of the angel's mouth and due to his anger in moving the clouds as a result of moving the clouds. The word as-sawa'iq or as-sa'iqa, the root letters is sad, ayn, and qaf. And from the meanings of sad, ayn, and qaf, right, sa'iqa, is mata, to pass away, to die. As Allah Azza wa Jal, He mentioned in Surah Zumar, فَصَعِقَ مَنْ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَنْ فِي الْأَرْضِ فَصَعِقَ مَنْ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَنْ فِي الْأَرْضِ. Everyone who's in the heavens, samawat, and in the earth, al-ard, will sa'iqa, pass away, die. All right, before the establishment of the hour. So that is sawa'iq. Next word we have here is hadar. Hadarun. This is not a verb, rather this is a noun. It is mansub because of the fatha. Hadarun means fear. And then we have the word al-maut. Al-maut, of course, we know means death. We have mata, come from the verb mata. Yamutu. Yamatu. Yamatu is actually another way of pronouncing the fi'l mudari'. Okay, this is known among the Arabs. They say, right, there's a line of poetry from Jahiliyyah by Ar-Rajiz, in which he said, Bunayyati sayyat al-banati, aishi wa la yu'manu an tamati. He said, Bunayyati sayyidat al-banati. That Bunayyati, my beloved little girl, sayyidat al-banati, is the head or leader of all the girls. Meaning that she's the best. There's no one better than her. Aishi, live. Live your life. Speaking to his daughter now. Live your life. فَلَا يُؤْمَنُ أَن تَمَاتِي. For it is not guaranteed for you to live. Meaning that you will die. Here's the meaning of this ibara. That you will die. So live your life because you will die. So live your life here in the dunya because you will die. The point, the shahid is أن تماتي. The poet Ar-Rajiz, he said أن تماتي. Okay, let me write this verb for you. Here he said أن تماتينا. This is the asl. أن تماتين. Right, من أفعال الخمسة. Okay, tamatin. The reason why the noon is omitted, is dropped, is because of the an. This is harf al-nasb or adat al-nasb. This is adat al-nasb. It is a tool that's used to make a word into nasb, mansub. Hadf al-noon. The noon is dropped. So here, instead of saying tamutina, here the author, the poet, he said tamati, showing that tamat, yamat are considered to be, namat are considered to be another form of fi'l mudari' for the verb mata. Khayr. The next word we have here is muhit. Muhitun, which means all-encompassing. Meaning, what does that mean? By Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's knowledge, He's all-encompassing. And He's also in charge of their destruction. Right? That He's going to handle them. He's going to take care of the munafiqun. They can hide as much as they want. At the end of the day, wallahu muhitun bil kafirin. Allah knows what they're doing. Khair. And the last word in this yani jumla or ayah is the al-kafirun, the word al-kafirun, which means the disbelievers. Al-kafirun. Question: is al-kafirun a singular word or a plural word? Is this singular or plural? All right, طيب, plural. Is there another plural for al-kafirun or just one? طيب. Al-kuffar, perfect. Then what's the difference between al-kuffar and al-kafirun? All right, guys, we got the answer already. Calm down. طيب. Is there a difference between al-kafirun and kuffar? One. طيب. يعني we need kalam mubin, not code. Okay, what's the difference? I mean in meaning. In meaning. Is there a difference in meaning? Of course, there's a difference in structure, right? Is there a difference in meaning? Khayr, no. Kuffar is obstinate in rejection and disbelief. All right. طيب, the word al-kafirun, and any word that is on the scale of fa'ilun or fa'il, yani adil, right? Any word on this scale, then this, or rather I should say it like this. If a word has a jam' mudhakkar salim, which is like kafirun, right? Because this is, yeah, kafirun, where there's a waw jama'a and a nun. If a word is on this type of scale, or rather, let me say it like this. طيب, if a word has two plurals, one of the plurals is jam' mudhakkar salim, which we have here, al-kafirun. صح? And the other plural is jam' taksir. Okay, for example, kuffar. If it has both of these plurals, then yes, there's a difference. The difference is that if the jam' mudhakkar salim form is used, kafirun, with the waw jama'a and the nun, then what's being highlighted is the attribute within the word. So kafir. What's the attribute being highlighted in this word? The attribute of kufr. طيب. However, if kuffar, yani jam' taksir is used instead of the jam' mudhakkar salim, kuffar, then what's being highlighted is not the attribute. Rather, what's being highlighted is the actual people. All right. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says here, Wallahu muhitun bil kafirin, he could have said bil kuffar, but he didn't. Rather, he said bil kafirin. Why? Because he's highlighting that he is all encompassing of their kufr, yani their action of kufr, their disbelief. He's highlighting their attribute. Khayran? Is that clear? This is why I like to record, because I get to edit, but doing it live, sometimes I'm thinking about something and I'm not able to express it right away. طيب. So here he says al-kafirun. Khayr. Let me write it down. So if a word has two different plurals, all right? Jam' mudhakkar equals mudhakkar salim, and also jam' taksir then the first is highlighting the attributes, while the second is highlighting the, I guess you can say, people or the actual word, right? Yes, exactly. Those who disbelieve and kufar as disbelievers. Perfect. Exactly. Those who disbelieve, because those who disbelieve highlights the sifa, the attribute. Khayran. Can we move on? So that's the first section, the vocabulary. Now we're going to move on to the nahwu portion. Is everyone with me? Let me see. All right, perfect. Let's move on. I'm going to have to record this at the end of the class to make it presentable for online students. طيب, let's now move on to the grammar portion. Nahwu. Here we have the first rule that we're going to study is aw. First of all, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said, أو كصيب من السماء فيه ظلمات ورعد وبرق يجعلون أصابعهم في آذانهم من الصواعق حذر الموت والله محيط بالكافرين. This is the statement of Allah. Hopefully this verse is clearer now that we know the words, vocabulary. Then the next section we're going to move on to is grammar, and the first grammar rule that we're going to explain is oh. Everyone say oh. 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 Here there are different tafsir the ulama give to the word oh. What is the meaning of oh in this verse? The first tafsir that we're going to present is the tafsir of Imam Ibn Jarir, Abu Ja'far, Muhammad Ibn Jarir al-Tabari, rahimahullah ta'ala. As we mentioned in the introduction, that Ibn Jarir al-Tabari, he is the father of the Mufassirin. He is the originator, he's the asl. Anyone who gives the tafsir of the Quran has to go back to the tafsir of Tabari, Imam al-Tabari, rahimahullah ta'ala. May Allah have mercy on him. Okay, and he said that the meaning of oh here is and, what. Oh here means what. And this is also tafsir of other ulama like Al-Farra, the famous grammarian. He said that here oh also means what as well, right? And this is known to the Arab that wow can mean oh, or oh can mean what. Oh can mean what. For example, in some ancient or poetry in Jahiliyyah, there was a man named Jarir. Jarir, he said, نال الخليفة أو كان له قدرا كما أتى ربه موسى على قدره. He said, نال الخلافة أو كان له قدرا. That a person attained leadership, the caliphate, he attained leadership, أو كان له قدرا. He said, أو كان له قدرا. Or, here if you want to translate literally, or he had or possessed status, qadara. But does that make sense? That so and so, let's say for example, Zayd attained leadership, or he had status. Does that make sense in English? La. It cannot make sense because it doesn't mean or here. Rather, the meaning of oh here means what. So if you translate it to mean نال الخلافة وكان له قدرا. He attained the leadership position and he became the leader and he had status. Here the meaning is more, it makes more sense, correct? It makes more sense. And he had status. So this is the proof to show that oh can mean wow. And if the meaning of the verse of oh means what, and then the meaning here is, let's go back to the beginning, not or like a rainstorm, rather and like a rainstorm, and like a rainstorm. Meaning after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala draws the parable of the one who seeks fire to be ignited, he says then, or summun bukmun umyun fahum la yarji'un, deaf, dumb and blind, they will not return. As a result, they will not return. And like a rainstorm from the sky, meaning their likeness is like also the likeness of a rainstorm from the sky. So if the meaning of "oh" here is what, like what Ibn Jarir al-Tabari said, then that is the meaning of the ayah. And their likeness is like a rainstorm from the sky. Khayr. Some of the other mufassirun, they say that "oh" here doesn't mean what. Rather, what it means is "or," meaning you have a choice. Either their likeness is going to be like this example, or their likeness is going to be like this or that example. You choose. It's up to you. All right. If the meaning here is "oh," yani takhyir, you have a choice. Yani khiyar, takhyir, to have a choice. Then the meaning of the verse is their likeness is like the one who sought fire to be kindled. ... Or their likeness is like a rainstorm from the sky. Yani you choose from either example. Either way, both examples are appropriate descriptions for their conditions or condition. So that's the second meaning that some of the Mufassirun give the meaning "oh." "Oh" can mean what, or it can mean takhyir, or. Another meaning of "oh" that some of the Mufassirun they give, and this is the opinion of Ibn Uthaymeen rahimahullah ta'ala, is tanwir, the meaning of categorization. As we started the class, we said that some of the ulama, they said that those who fall under shirk akbar, major shirk, or rather nifaq akbar, major nifaq, major hypocrisy, they're of categories. They're different types. Okay? He says that the first method that we studied in the last class is pertaining to those who were affected by the light, but they decided to revert back to their nifaq, their hypocrisy. And this verse right here refers to another type or category of munafiqun. He says here that this verse right here refers to the type of munafiqun who were never affected by the light, who were never affected by the Quran. Rather, they accepted Islam in order to destroy it from within. So here, if "oh" takes the meaning of tanwir, any categorization, to categorize something, then the meaning of the verse is the second type of hypocrite is like a rainstorm from the sky. They'll take the meaning of this. So that's the third opinion. There's more opinions as well, right? We mentioned only 4 here, but it's actually more as to the meaning of "oh." The last opinion that we're going to give and present to you all is that "oh" can take the meaning of tafsil, yani to further clarify, to explain, to elaborate. Yani here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He described the likeness of the munafiq in the last ayah to like one, yani istawqada nara, who sought to ignite a fire. In this verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is what? Further clarifying that they are also like a rainstorm. من السماء فيه ظلمات ورعد وبرق. Khair. So here it is further clarifying yani their situation, their hal, what is their condition. Does everyone understand that? Clear? These are some of the meanings of "oh." And this is linguistic benefit because you can "oh" can come in different one of these meanings. It has also other meanings as well, but it can come in one of these meanings when you're reading a text. And you have to know which "oh" that you're reading. It's not every "oh" that you read is not going to only be for takhyir, meaning or. Right? There's different types of "oh." And as a reader, you have to realize which "oh" is it speaking about and which word it's using. What's the meaning? And you'll understand that through the context. So here, tanwir is very important, especially when you read books of fiqh, right? There's a book called Rawd al-Murbi', which is a fiqh book that we study in Hanabila school of thought. And the author, Sheikh Mansour, he, a lot of times in his explanation, he will use "oh." Also Hajawi, yani Sahib Zad Mustaqni', he will use "oh" a lot of times in his speech, in the matan. And the meaning of "oh" there is not "or," yani meaning takhyir, right? Rather the meaning is yani tanwir, categorization, telling you that this is the second type of water. This is the second type of bay', buying and selling, yani transaction. Oh, this is the second type of salah. This is the second type of yani condition, etc. So this is something that you have to pay attention when you read. خيرا. طيب, the next grammar rule that we're going to explain is the word wa. 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 In this verse, we have two different types of wa. Wow. The first type can be found here, in this section of the verse. أو كصيب من السماء فيه ظلمات ورعد وبرق. Here, wow, wow. Both of these wows are the same things. Yani wawan, they're the same thing. They're known as wawul atf. Wawul atf. And wawul atf is basically the normal waw that we know that means and, where it connects the meanings together, and it also connects it joins the i'rab, the ending of the word as well. Okay, it's simple, very easy. So here the meaning is and. Fihi dhulumatun, in it is darknesses, and ra'd, thunder, and barq, lightning. All right. Here it connects the meaning, and it also connects the i'rab. Why is this dhammatain in the state of raf'? Because the waw is connecting this to dhulumat. Here is raf. Why is this raf? Because here this waw connects it to raf. طيب, to make it raf. خيرا. The second waw that we find in this verse is at the end of the verse, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Wallahu muhitun bil kafirin. Wallahu muhitun bil kafirin. This waw, I mean, subhanAllah, a lot of these programs you see online, it's like they get really lazy. Or if they don't know what type of word it is, they'll always say istitnafiyya. A'udhu billah. كيف هذا istitnafiyya? And that really gets me angry, because it's like they don't know, so they just say istitnafiyya. Rather, this waw here is not istitnafiyya. When you read the books of tafsir, they say here that this waw is waw al-i'tiradiyya. Now, what is waw al-i'tiradiyya? And how will you come to know waw al-i'tiradiyya? Indeed, the waw al-i'tiradiyya is the waw of separation. And it is used to begin a new sentence in between two sentences. The goal is to add an additional meaning to the previous sentence. So, for example, كان محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم نبيا كريما. Here we have a sentence. Or we said here, begin a new sentence. It also can come in between words. It doesn't have to be sentences as well. Two sentences or words. This goal is to add additional meaning to the previous sentence or word. Here's an example of a jumla i'tiradiyya coming in between words. كان محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم نبيا كريما. Here, the jumla i'tiradiyya falls in between two words. First is the ism kana, which is Muhammad, and then khabru kana, nabiyan. Kana Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam nabiyan karima. This portion right here is known as jumla i'tiradiyya. It comes in between two sentences or two words to provide further explanation or clarification, or if it could be a dua as well, as we can see here, a dua for what has preceded. Here, قال المؤلف رحمه الله. The mu'allif, the author, he said, may Allah have mercy on him. Right? Did the author say, may Allah have mercy on him? No, we added that. Right? It's extra. It's to clarify what? That we're making dua for him. So this is known as jumla waw al-i'tiradiyya or jumla i'tiradiyya. Here, the waw is the i'tirad, telling us that what? Wallahu muhitun bil kafirin. That Allah is all-encompassing of those who disbelieve. Khayran. Conjunction, yes, naam. Everyone with me? Take a sip of this water. Khayran. The next portion or rather the next rule that we're going to explain, is the min. Min. Here in this verse, we have two min. We have two mins. We have the first min in the beginning of the verse, أَوْ كَصَيِّبٍ مِّنَ السَّمَاءِ. And then we have the second min, مِنَ الصَّوَاعِقِ. مِنَ الصَّوَاعِقِ. طيب. So what is the first min? The first min, مِنَ السَّمَاءِ, is known as the min for ابتداء الغاية. ابتداء الغاية. When you're beginning from somewhere. Okay? ذهبت من بيتي إلى المسجد. ذهبت إلى بيتي إلى المسجد. I went from my house to the masjid. Yani this min, from my house, min bayti, from my house, is telling you what? That I began where? Did I begin at the masjid? لا, I began from my house. So it's ابتداء الغاية. خيرا. So this is telling you أو كصيب من السماء, or like a rain cloud that is from the sama. Yani, where is this rain cloud? Where did this rain cloud come from? Did it come from the ocean? Some people say that the rain comes from the ocean. Huh? Where did this rain cloud come from? Min as-sama, from the sky. Right? It's telling you it began from the sky. The rain cloud. Ibtida' al-ghaya. Point of origin, yes. So some people, they say this min here can take this meaning, ibtida' al-ghaya. Some ulama, they also say that the min is not ibtida' al-ghaya, but rather it is min at-tab'id. Min at-tab'id, which means yani among or part of. The min to show juz, yani a portion. So if it takes the meaning of a portion, then the meaning of the verse is like a rain cloud from or among the rain clouds of the sky, showing that this sayyib is only a portion of the rain clouds that are in the sky. It's not like, not every cloud is like a rain cloud. This is only a juz, a portion of the type of cloud that's in the sky, and it is a rain cloud. Khayran, this is tab'id. Here, the min here would be tab'id. And here, the meaning, although in i'rab it affects sama, the meaning, it refers back to this word. The word that precedes. Khayran. So in this min, there's two interpretations. Either ibtida' al-ghaya, beginning from, or tab'id, showing you that there is only one portion or type from the sky. The second min we have in this verse can be found here. في آذانهم من الصواعق. Here this min is not min as-sama, is not يعني ابتداء الغاية. Yani they put their fingers in their ears beginning from the thunderclap. Does that make sense? لا. They put their fingers in the air. That is part of the sawa'iq, the thunderclap. That doesn't make sense. La. Rather, the min here is not for ibtida' ul-ghaya or tab'id. Rather, the min is for sababiyya. Yani clarifying you. Sababiyya means clarifying to you the reason why the action before it occurred. Okay? Why did they put their fingers in the air? Here, I'm going to clarify to you, min as-sawa'iqi. The reason for that action is because of the thunderclap. This is known as min as-sababiyya. Did we have a min as-sababiyya in the last class? Does anyone remember? If we had a min sababiyya, as-sababiyya? Fa. Okay. We had a fa as-sababiyya. What's the verse? What's the portion of the verse? فهم لا يرجعون, صح? Okay, let's move on. The next and last grammar rule that we're going to explain in this portion is حذر الموت. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said, يجعلون أصابعهم في آذانهم من الصواعق حذر الموت. Why is حذر mansub? This is known as مفعول من أجله, and is also called مفعول له. There's two names for it. Some ulama, they say من أجله. Some ulama, they say له. Al-Muhim is the same thing, just difference in terminology. And مفعول من أجله, in order for you to use it, or rather, what is مفعول من أجله? This is when it's a maf'ul that explains to you the reason for the occurrence, and the reason for the action. Okay, just like min sababiyya works the same way. Okay, just a different form. حذر الموت, it works in the form of maf'ul. And there's certain conditions that must be fulfilled in order for a word to be considered مفعول من أجله or مفعول له. The first condition is that it has to be a noun. Verbs cannot be considered مفعول من أجله. Also, it must be in the state of nasb. It must be mansub. It must be in the state of nasb and be mansub. Yani fatha, right? If it has fatha, ya, right? Niyabatan an al-fatha. Okay, and the other signs of a word being mansub, it must be mansub. See, the third condition is that it must mention the reason for the occurrence of a verb. Okay, why did they put their fingers in the air? Yes, they put their fingers in the air from the thunderclap. And also another sababiyya, so there's two sababiyyas in this one verse. Another reason why they did it, حذر الموت, fearing death, fearing to die, fearing that their life is going to be taken away. Okay? An example of how it's used, here I have an example. صمت عند الشيخ مهابة له. صمت means like يعني to be quiet or remain silent. صمت يعني to remain quiet. I remain quiet عند الشيخ يعني in the presence of the sheikh, of the elderly person or knowledgeable person. مهابة له, out of respect for him, out of reverence for him. Why is this مهابة فتحتين? Because it's clarifying to us why we remain silent in front of the sheikh. It's clarifying to us the reason why we remain silent in front of the sheikh. Why do we remain silent in front of the sheikh? Because out of reverence for him. Okay, صمت in the sheikh مهابة له. How to recognize? You can place, okay, what are some tricks to know if a word is مفعول من أجله مفعول له من أجله مفعول له? There are certain tricks you can do. If you see a word that has fatha and it seems like it's fulfilling all these three conditions, but you're not sure whether it's مفعول من أجله, there are certain tricks you can do to help you figure out whether it's مفعول من أجله. How to recognize? You can place a li or a min before the maf'ul, and if C, meaning this C, if C is still intact, then that is a sign to tell you that the noun is indeed مفعول من أجله, يعني مفعول له, مفعول لأجله. So let's try that. Here we have the sentence صمت عند الشيخ مهابة له. I'm not sure whether مهابة is a مفعول لأجله or something else. So how do I make sure? I'm going to put a min before the word. Here صمت عند الشيخ نفسه, same thing. Then I place a min. Here's the min. Min mahabatihi. Is the meaning yani salim? Does it work? I remain silent in front of the sheikh. Yani min sababiyya, in order, or rather because of my reverence for him. Because of my reverence for him. Here, yes, the min clarifies to us that this is the reason why I remained quiet. So therefore it works. The min here is known as min al-sababiyya. I don't know why there's a kasra here. Should be a fatha. Min al-sababiyya. طيب. Also, if we were to put the lam ta'leel before it, صمت عند الشيخ li, right? I didn't put a min, rather put a li now. Li mahabatihi. This lam is clarifying to us, ta'leel, that the reason why I remain quiet in front of the sheikh is because of my reverence for him. Li mahabatihi, yani his stature, his status. This is the reason why I remain quiet. C meaning mentions the reason of the meaning. I put C here because I didn't want to write this whole sentence out again. But I'll just write it. If the reason for the occurrence of the verb is still, all right, hopefully it's clearer. How to recognize a maf'un li ajlihi. If you could place a li or a min before the maf'ul, and if the reason for the occurrence of the verb is still intact, yani that's the meaning that you understand, that it's the reason for the occurrence, then that is a sign to tell you that the noun is indeed maf'ulun lahu. Yeah, exactly. So they're interchangeable. Exactly. So you could put min or li if the meaning is explain to you the reason why that action occurred, why I remain quiet. If it's explained to you why, then it's considered to be maf'ulun li ajlihi, or maf'ulun min ajlihi, maf'ulun lahu. Example. Do you understand the example? صمت عند الشيخ من مهابته. صمت عند الشيخ لمهابته. Shahnaz. Was it clear? All the change here is basically I added a min and I added a li, and the meaning remained the same. Therefore, it tells me that this is maf'un li ajlihi. Okay, perfect. Let's move on. This is i'rab here. This is the i'rab for anyone who wants to read it, benefit from it. We don't have time to go over it, so you could take a picture or whatever, or watch it when the recording is out. Let's move on to the sarf portion of the class. So we have the sarf portion of the class. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he says, أو كصيب من السماء فيه ظلمات ورعد وبرق يجعلون أصابعهم في آذانهم من الصواعق حذر الموت والله محيط بالكافرين. The first sarf rule that I'm going to explain to you is pertaining to the word sayyib. Sayyib. In the vocabulary section, we explained the meaning of sayyib, and we gave the jama', the plural. Here, we're going to explain to you the sarf portion of this word. Here, sayyib, the origin and the origin letters, root letters, are sad, waw, and ba. It comes from the word saba, yasubu, sub, sawban, sayyiban, meaning to descend. We explained that. Anything that falls from above and lands below is known as sayyib. Mumtaz. The origin of sayyib, okay, because we know the waw is part of the word. Sah. We know that's not the origin of the word. The origin is saywibun. Saywibun. Everyone say saywibun. It's kind of hard to pronounce. Sah. So because of the difficulty in pronunciation, the ulama of sarf, they say, or rather they apply a certain rule to it. They change it. And this rule is known as i'lal bil qalbi wal idgham. I'lal bil qalbi wal idgham. What is i'lal bil qalbi wal idgham? Khair. This is when the letters waw and ya are gathered in one word, and there is an original sukoon on the ya. So the waw becomes a ya, and now both ya are joined together with a shadda, idgham. Khayran, let's explain that. when the letters waw and ya are gathered in one word. So here we see a ya and we see a waw, right? You guys see the ya and waw? They're gathered in one word. Are there two words here? La, only one word. And there is an original sukoon on the ya. You guys see the sukoon on the ya? It's not the sukoon al-arida, la. Rather, this is the sukoon asli, the original sukoon on the ya. Now, since both ya and waw are gathered in one word, and there's an original sukoon on the ya, there's certain things we need to do. First, we need to do qalb. We need to change. We need to change something because it's kind of hard to pronounce. Yani sayyib, yani, or sayyib. Yani it's kind of hard to pronounce. What do? We change the waw because it has a haraka on it. It has a kasra on it. Here you can, yani, because it's sukoon, you can't really change it. You change the waw into another ya. So now it becomes sayyib. And now both yas are joined together with shadda, idgham. And that's the idgham with the shadda. The shadda now becomes the idgham. Let's look at some examples. The origin of this word is may witun, kasra on the waw. May witun, just like soy wibun, same form. May witun. See, I can't pronounce it. May witun. We change the waw into ya. We do qalb. So here we have may yitun. May yitun. And now both the yas are joined together with the shadda, the idgham. Now we perform idgham. We perform the idgham. Mayyitun. Mayyitun. You guys see that? Here we have the word saywidun. Saywidun. Just like maywidun and saywibun. Saywidun. We're gonna change the waw into a ya. Qalb. We perform qalb. Here, sayyidun. Sayyidun. And now we perform the idgham with the shadda. Sayyidun. Sayyidun. You guys see that? Is that clear? Or a bit confusing? This is known as i'lal bil qalb wal idgham. This is basically telling you how did it get from sayyibun into sayyibun. So now you know. Now you know the rule. Alhamdulillah. So that's sayyib. Can we move on? Perfect. Let's now move on to the second word, sarf word that we're going to explain. And it is the word as-sama. As-sama'u. The origin letters for as-sama'u, right? If you want to look in the dictionary for as-sama', you wouldn't look for sin, mim, alif, hamza. La. Every word, well, most words, they return either back to 3 words or 4 words or 5 words, or in some cases even 6 words. Naam, 6 words. Here, this is the 3-letter root word. And the root letters are sin, mim, and waw. Khair. The origin, like this word sama, comes from the verb sama yasmu usmu with the halfu nun, halfu waw, the omission of the waw, the weak letter, and then sumuwan, sumuwan. And the verb of this noun means to be high, elevated, lofty, raised. The origin of sama'un is sama'un. Sama'un from the masdar sumuwan. Yani min sumuwin. Right? This is the origin. Sama'un. So what happens? How did it get from a waw into a hamza? How did it change? Mashi. Here, this change in sarf is known as al-i'lalu fil hamza. Al-i'lalu fil hamzati. طيب. What is al-i'lalu fil hamza? How will you come to know al-i'lalu fil hamza? Al-i'lalu fil hamza is when the waw is the last root letter of a word and it appears at the end of a word. Okay, this sentence right here is basically explain and providing emphasis of this. Here is like, ta'keed ala al-mu'akkad. And it comes after the alif za'idah. alif za'ida, yani alif mamduda. Here, sama. See this right here? Sama. It's called alif za'ida or alif mamduda. When it comes after this alif za'ida, then the waw is changed into hamza. Why? Because try to pronounce this word right here. Try to pronounce this word the same way you pronounce sama, but stopping on the alif. Sama. That's kind of hard to pronounce, right? Sama. Right? Let's say, for example, أو كصيب من السماء. يعني لا يصلح. It's not correct. So they have to change it. A change has to occur. This rule is also applied to words where the last root letter is ya. Okay, before we get into that. Naam. So when waw is the last root letter, it appears at the end of a word and comes after alif za'ida, then the waw is changed into hamza. Simple. Sama'un. طيب. So this is how we got from sama'un to sama'un. Now this rule, al-i'lal fil hamza, is also applied to words where the last root letter is ya. So it doesn't only apply to waw, but rather it also applies to ya as well. So words like binayun, and sawayun. This is the origin of the word. Ba, nun, ya. Sa, sin, waw, ya. That's the origin letters. But because of the difficulty in pronunciation, it changes from a ya into a hamza. Therefore, it becomes bina'un, sawa'un. And the origin is bina'yun, sawa'yun. So this rule, al-i'lal fil hamza, occurs with waw and ya. And this is one instance, meaning waw and ya. This is one instance of i'lal fil hamza. There are 3 other instances that we did not mention where this rule is performed. But we'll suffice with that. That's the sarf section of this lesson. Any questions? طيب. Let's move on to the balagha. We're almost done. Time is it? Oh, subhanallah. Khairan. طيب. Here, what are some balagha points we benefit from this verse? Here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said, أو كصيب من السماء فيه ظلمات ورعد وبرق يجعلون أصابعهم في آذانهم من الصواعق حذر الموت والله محيط بالكافرين. The first balagha point we benefit from this verse is that Allah something missing here. Ulama, they say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala likens rain clouds to what our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam came with, yani the Quran, in regards to its guidance and knowledge. And that is because knowledge and guidance is life for the souls, just as the rain cloud, yani water, the rain, is life to the bodies, right? There's nothing on earth that can live or survive except that it needs water, rain. SubhanAllah. That's why places where they're afflicted with drought, yani adam al-ma, where there's no water, life, nobody can sustain that life. No one can live there. So they move to different places. Animals, they move to different places where there is water, right? And this is similar to the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim as well, which he said, "Inna mathala ma ba'athani Allahu bihi min al-huda wal-ilm kamathali ghaythin asaba ardan." He said, indeed, the method, the likeness of what ma ba'athani Allahu bi, of what Allah has revealed to me, sent me with, min al-huda wal-ilm, in terms of al-huda, guidance and knowledge, is similar to or similar to ghaythin asaba ardan, is similar to rain that has filled the earth, that has fell on the earth, that has cultivated the earth. So here the Prophet ﷺ explains to us that his likeness that Allah sent him with in terms of his guidance and ilm is similar to water, that gives life. Because we know knowledge gives life to the ruh, the arwah, the souls, while water gives life to the ajsam, the bodies. So this is the first balagha point we understand from this verse. The second balagha point we understand from this verse, in terms of when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يَجْعَلُونَ أَصَابِعَهُم, when Allah mentions fingers in the plural sense, does Allah mean that they put all of their fingers in their ears? Yani, is that what's understood? Can a person put all of their fingers in their ears? Try it right now. Can you put all your fingers? لا مستحيل. يعني this is not possible. Impossible. طيب, so what is meant? What is meant is that a portion of their finger. What is meant is a portion of their finger. And this is known in Balagha as itlaqul kulli wa iradatul juz. Is when a person says something, mentions the entire thing of something, but only intends a portion of it. Okay? Only intends a portion of it. This is done to show the greatness or importance of that thing he's speaking about. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here is magnifying and showing us the extent of how they rush to put their fingers in the air to block out anything from entering. And we're going to explain that more in the third point. A person cannot shove all their fingers in their ears. The reason why it's mentioned here is to stress how hard they try to block out listening to the Quran from reaching their hearts. And as a result, listening to the Quran, believe and follow Islam. Also, them putting their fingers in their ears, they try to block out the ayat in terms of the punishments, right? When they hear the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't only speak about Jannah and all that. He also speaks about the punishments in the hereafter. So they're trying to block out hearing those punishments because they know that's what they're going to face soon. But they're trying to, they know that's the reality that's going to happen to them, but they know they're trying to hide from it or delay it, procrastinate by not listening to it, so that they can continue on their path, right? Because if they keep hearing those verses about punishment, eventually someone with aql, someone with intellect, they're gonna change sometime or another, but they don't want to even open the door to change, right? That shows how evil they are. May Allah save us from that. What does 0 mean? Okay, I'm guessing no. طيب, the fourth balagha point, Allah's statement, muhitun bil kafirin. Allah clarifies to us the reason why He is likened the hypocrites to these two parables. So we mentioned it earlier in the vocab section that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not say bil kuffar, rather He said bil kafirin, clarifying to us the reason why He's making these parables. What's the reasoning for their punishment? The reasoning for their punishment in these parables is because of their kufr, their sifa of kufr, disbelief. And the last balagha point, and there are more, but subhanAllah, running almost an hour and a half. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala placed a tanween on rain clouds. So Allah says, kasayyibin. There's a tanween here. It cut off in the text, but there's a tanween there. Sayyibin. In order to show its status, ta'zeem, and to show that this is only a type of rain. As we mentioned earlier, that if the aw here means tanwir, category, this is a category. Or rather, no, sorry, if the min here means tab'id, meaning portion, then this sayyib, the meaning here is a portion, a rain cloud that is a portion from the sky. So here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes it tanween to show us its status and to show that this is only a type of rain. And there are different types of rain, right? For example, you have severe rain, like a rain cloud, right? You also have rain that is light rain, etc. Wasat, the different types of rain. Here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's signal is what's the word? Specifying, specifying one particular type of rain, which is the rain cloud. Any questions? Almost done. Okay, let's now move to the meaning. Ta'zeem, to show its status. to show its status over the other rain clouds. This is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes it into yani. Yes. Next, the meaning, some of the meanings the ulama they say this parable shows is: one, the rainstorm is the Quran because of the benefits it provides and the life it gives to the hearts, similar to rain on earth. The darkness, the dhulumat, is the contents of the Quran in terms of the test, the ikhtibarat, ibtila. The thunder, the ra'd, is the prohibitions within the Quran. Right? It's scary. Like prohibitions are. The lightning is clarifications contained within the Quran. Yani al-barq, because barq is the lightning, right? You see light from it. So it's clarifying to you yani what is in the Quran. And the thunderclap is the threats of the punishment. And this is the thing that scares a person. Excuse me. The thunderclap is what scares the individual. It's the threats of punishment in the hereafter and call to strive in the world of life. And this is the meaning mentioned by Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Some other interpretations that the Quran is the rainstorm, while the darkness, the dhulumat, is the condition of the hypocrites as they are filled with doubt, disbelief, and hypocrisy, right? Because jama' is plural, so it includes the shak, the kufr, and the nifaq. The thunder, the ra'd, is the threats, okay, commandments, and prohibitions of the Quran. And the lightning is the clear proofs, because it's clear, right, when you see it. Clear proofs and evidences, the dala'il wal barahin of the Quran. And the thunderclap is the verses of the Quran that contains all of the sharia. This is what some of the ulama say in terms of the meaning. And last but not least, the benefits derived from this verse. There are a lot. We're only going to mention 5, mentioned by Ibn Uthaymeen rahimahullah ta'ala. He says that one, a benefit is severe lightning can blind a person. SubhanAllah, how true is that? Ibn Uthaymeen, he mentions the dunya benefit of this verse, that the severe lightning can blind a person. So that's why it's advised not to look directly in it or Naam. He also says warning from Allah, that this verse is a warning from Allah towards the hypocrites, that He is indeed aware of what they're doing. So like the hypocrites, what's one of the reasons why they're doing what they're doing, right? Why are they professing their Islam but hiding their kufr? They're doing it because they think that they won't be held accountable for what they're doing. So they think that the believers are dumb. They don't know what we're doing. But we're causing mischief, behind their backs, Allah mentions in Surah Al-Baqarah, in the beginning of Surah Al-Baqarah, He mentions all their sifat and what they do and all the mischief they cause on the earth. وَمَا هُمْ بِمُفْسِدِينَ. That will say that we're not the mufsidun. We're not the fitna makers, the corruptors. They think they could get away with all this stuff. But Allah Azza wa Jalla is reminding us in this verse that He indeed is aware of what they're doing. Right? He's muhitun bihim. And we also benefit from the verse that from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's names is Al-Qadir, the Almighty and All-Capable. A quick benefit regarding Allah's names: whenever we pass by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's names and attributes, we have to do 4 things. Well, before we get into that, how do we understand Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or where do we derive Allah's names and attributes? Go ahead, answer it. Where do we derive Allah's names and attributes? How do we know Allah's name is Ar-Rahman? Where? Quran and Hadith. Perfect. Can we take a book of a scholar? If a scholar says that Allah's name is As-Sattar or Satir, As-Sattar, naam. Can we believe it? No, it has to return back to Quran and Hadith. Good. How do we understand these names? It's very important that we know how to understand these names. There's 4 important things that we do with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's names and attributes. First, we believe in it unconditionally, right? Allah says He is Ar-Rahman, then we say He's Ar-Rahman. So the first thing we do is that we don't change the meaning. We don't do something called tahrif, change the meaning. We can't say that Allah's hand means His bounty, right? Allah's face means kada wa kada. Allah's Ar-Rahman means something else. La. Rather, we cannot change the meaning that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us. If Allah says He has a hand, then He has a hand. However, that hand is in a way that befits His majesty, befits His being, right? For example, in English language, if we say that a human hand, is a human hand similar to the clock, the hand of a clock? Are they the two same? Are they the same things? Is the hand of a clock similar to a hand of a human being? Is the hand of an animal similar to the hand of a human being? La. So if there's a difference in terms of creation in regards to their hands, then what about Rabbul Jalla wa Ala? Rabbuna Jalla wa Ala. What about our Lord who created everything that exists? We can't even imagine Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala how He is. However, we affirm what He has affirmed for Himself, or what His messenger affirmed for Himself without changing the meaning. Okay? Secondly, so we don't change the meaning. We don't deny that He has, we don't deny anything He's affirmed for Himself. So if Allah says He has a hand, then khalas, He has a hand. You can't come and say, no, He doesn't have a hand. That doesn't make sense. That's the second thing. The third thing is that we don't liken Him to His creation. Okay? We don't say that Allah's hand is like our hand. La. It's a mistake, as we just mentioned. It's a mistake. Rather, His hand is in a way that befits His majesty. And the fourth thing we don't question how. How did Allah rise above His throne? Yani, what do you benefit from knowing that? You shouldn't ask those questions. So much so that one man came into the masjid and asked Imam Malik, rahimahullah ta'ala. He said, Allah says, Ar-Rahman istawa ala al-arsh. That Ar-Rahman, He rose above His throne. Kayfa istawa. How did He rise above His throne? So Imam Malik, he got really mad. He lowered his head and he got extremely angry. His face was turning red. And then when he picked up his head, he said, al-istawa ma'loom, that the istawa is known. Wal-kayf majhul, and how He did it is not known. However, we believe in it and we don't question it. And he ordered for that man to be kicked out of the masjid, subhanAllah, because of his question. To show the seriousness of asking how. How does Allah have a hand? How does Allah have a shin? How does Allah, etc., etc. We don't ask how. Khayran. Wal kayf majhul, and the kayfa is unknown. Yes. What is the fourth? Fourth is that we don't ask how. We don't liken. We don't deny. We don't change the meaning. We liken Him. We don't deny. We do not deny. That's the fourth. Or reject. Right? We can't come and say, oh, Allah doesn't have a shin. Let's continue. Last couple of points. The fourth benefit we derive, as mentioned by Ibn Uthaymeen, that there are people who enter into Islam in order to destroy it from within. So sometimes, I'm not saying that you go around and start, having su'u dhann, evil thoughts of your Muslim brothers and sisters. No, we're not ordered to do that. Rather, we're ordered to have husnul dhann until there's something proving otherwise. So, however, there's some people who come into Islam and their only intent is to destroy Islam from within. Sometimes you give khalas, we'll leave it at that. Just keep that in mind. There are munafiqun hatta yawm. Even today, there are munafiqun in the deen. So just keep that in mind and be careful who you talk to and what you share and etc. Just be aware. Khayran. But the asl, the origin is that we have good thoughts for our Muslim brothers and sisters. Until there's something proving otherwise. You have to have clear proof, right? To think otherwise. Khayran. And the last benefit is the benefit of rain. Right? We know the benefit of rain. The Prophet ﷺ will make dua whenever it will rain. Allahumma sayyiban nafi'an. Right? He would even, a forgotten sunnah is that whenever it would rain, he would actually uncover his arm and uncover his head so that the rain would touch his body. And when the Sahaba asked him why he's doing that, he said that indeed that this is barakah from his Lord. That is barakah from his Lord. So this is a sunnah that we should try to apply. Of course, and if you're a male, it's easy to apply. Female, you should be aware of your surroundings if you want to apply that. طيب. So any questions? Any questions? We're going to end here. Any questions? I'm going to re-record this class to make it more presentable for the course online, inshallah. But this recording is going to be online for you guys, but I'm going to record it later on as well. Re-record it. All right, guys. So if there's no questions, you guys can leave. Subhanaka Allahumma ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wa iyyakum. Yeah, sure. Why not? Inshallah.